Hello! Thanks very much for watching my videos. These videos, as you know, are dedicated to the ex-Jehovah's Witness community. They're also dedicated to those poor Jehovah's Witnesses who are just trying to get out. And I'm just going to give you reasons to do it and to tell you that life can be better. But before I start that, I want to thank you. Really, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I now have 309 subscribers. People watch my videos all the time. I get so many compliments, and it really is brilliant. Speaking personally for a moment, I can tell you that I started these videos as a sort of a thing just to cheer me up. I had previously been working in a job, working as a prison guard. It's true, the truncheon and everything. And I got very badly assaulted, and I was hurt, and it really affected me very badly. And I did these videos just to give myself some outlet. And the fact that you like them, the fact that you care about them, and comment, and really makes my day. It really does, from the bottom of my heart. So thank you. If you can like them, if you can subscribe, that'd be even better. Thank you. So that's brilliant. I'm going to get on to today's video. I hope you like it. What doctrines did you always have trouble accepting? You see, when we were in the Jehovah's Witnesses, we didn't have this Christian situation which they could just go, out in the big bad world of Christianity, you can just pick and choose and say, I'll have a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B, and I'll have that, and I'll take that. I don't like so much the Old Testament Jehovah, but I like the New Testament Jesus, and I'm going to stick with that. And a lot of people do that. That's absolutely fine. I'm not criticizing that. But when you're a Jehovah's Witness, you don't have that luxury. Sure you don't. No, you don't. You have to make it all work somehow in your head, even if it's absolute bonkers. And that's just the way it is, okay? So this is, what doctrines did you always have trouble accepting? And the person starts off, I'm mining the forums of the internet for Jehovah's Witness comments, because I think it's great. I always had trouble accepting that Jehovah's perfect creations, Adam, Eve, and Lucifer. Let's not forget Lucifer. He was a good guy once. He was like Darth Vader before he put on the mask. He was good. He was Anakin for a while. Before that they could sin, and how the children could be put to death at Armageddon because of their parents. That's very true. I mean, I am a terrible guy in many ways. Right? I'm sure we all are. But I wouldn't want people to blame my children for my sins. Seems very odd. But of course, God is a mean God, according to the Old Testament, who punishes children on and on and on. There you go. So, next comment. Lot's wife. Death for just looking? Really? Indeed. Right, but King David was considered righteous. He not only looked, he touched. Indeed, he touched. And he got the woman's husband murdered. Who does that? That is... Okay? And here's somebody saying the whole story of Lot is a troubling myth. Well, you can say that. I couldn't possibly comment. Israelites being punished with death for eating the pheasants God provided because they were ungrateful for manna. Yes. There's a place up the road, so I got confused. There's a place up the road called Fermanagh, and I said they're ungrateful for manna. It's my bad accent. Anyway, and then somebody's written below, I agree, it was a setup. Are you making conspiracy theories about God? Okay. Jonah in the whale. Jonah in the whale is a tricky one, right? Because he is a time-honored, a well-trodden path of Jehovah's Witness, and in fact any Christian or spiritual story. Okay, Jonah is part of it. You have to stick with it, right? The Jews love it too, I'm told. Okay, but there's a problem. Okay, now I'm just going to throw this out again. This is my new theory, and I'm going to hit you with it and tell me what you think. I'm going to say that if something takes you a lot of time grasping, you've got three options, right? Either one, it's really complicated, right? So try understand how light does not accelerate to the speed of light, but starts off at the speed of light. That's really complicated. Okay, that's one. So it's either really complicated. Two, you're really dumb. Okay, I'm prepared to accept that one. Or it's, third finger, it's really stupid. Now, I'm just saying, if you're spending a lot of time trying to understand Jonah in the whale, it's not complicated, is it? Guy got swallowed by a big fish. It's not that you're stupid, I hope. Maybe it's dumb. Just throw it out there. I always knew people who were gay and knew that they had no choice. Indeed, they have no choice. That's the way they were born. I totally agree with you, okay? There have always been gay people in society throughout history, always. I realized quite young that this is a normal part of society. And somebody said, good for you for recognizing that fact from a young age. I did not recognize that fact from a young age, but in fairness, I didn't have the opportunity to. I absolutely admire the girl who did, because I did not. I certainly do now, though. I completely agree with that. Okay? And then someone said it's also a normal part of nature in the animal kingdom. No, which is true. It is. Okay? Hell, they have bestiality in the animal kingdom. Who would know? I saw this YouTube video the other day of a poor penguin getting violated by a walrus. Tell ya, a penguin's got a story to tell, doesn't she? Good Lord. Anyway, I always had questions. I always had questions about Adam and Eve, and if God knew they would sin, then what was the point? I could never wrap my head around that. I had questions as a young child that never got the straight answer. Well, we all did. We all had questions as a young child, and I've mentioned this in previous videos, that you get to the stage where you ask the question once, you get an answer. You ask the question twice, you get it repeated. You ask the question 3 times, now, hey you, stop asking that question. Have you got something wrong with you? You don't like the answer? 2 plus 2 is 5. Shut up and accept it. Lot offering his daughters to be raped, then having sex with them. I know. Lot was an awesome dad, and God looked down on earth, right, and said, "Go save Lot. He needs saved." I should give God a deeper voice. Lot needs saved. And that was the character of Lot. Rape my daughters, but only after I've raped them. Oh, of course, Lot didn't claim to be raped. He blamed the girls. He said they got him drunk. Yeah, there's a lot of boys use that excuse, let me tell you. They're still in prison. I met them. Good me, goodness grief. The whole free will dilemma. God created me to have free will, but if I chose something he didn't like, he will destroy me. That is actually a very good point. Although, free will is an interesting thing, because scientifically free will is supposed to not exist. I don't quite understand it either, though, because it's complicated. I'm not stupid. Hopefully. Okay, I couldn't see God killing everyone except the Borg. That's the Jehovah's Witnesses, the org. It seems so evil and cruel. Plus, what could be wrong with these people wanting for it to happen so badly? You're absolutely right. The whole thing of creating man and it all going wrong, like straight away. So much for perfect creations. Okay? And then they said, I find the idea of ancient aliens genetically modifying man at some point much more feasible. Okay, I don't even want to get into ancient aliens. I'm sure there's people watching this who think it's rocking, but I don't like it. Okay? A sister once told me that if you died in this system, you couldn't have any more babies when you're resurrected in paradise. That makes paradise sound good for ladies, doesn't it? But don't worry, ladies, because remember, you're going to grow a penis. That's what the society used to think. I don't think they ever stopped officially thinking it, by the way. Okay? Not sure if it's still taught by the org, but I thought it was very unfair. Yes, that controversy over the resurrected would be able to marry or not. When I looked at that chapter about that, it seemed very clear to me, right? That then suddenly that so-called paradise didn't seem so enticing to me. Couldn't agree more. You're getting a like. The sad thing is that my then so-called sister didn't have any children. Oh, that my then sister didn't have any children. She's now around 42, 43. No husband, no kids. So if that doctrine was true, she would never have any kids in this system or the next. Yeah, it's true. It's true. According to Jehovah's Witness understanding of it. Absolutely nonsense. Here's somebody goes on, it says, the blood doctrine. Never understood it. No one does. It's nonsense. Okay? Eve was created from Adam's rib. One day it just sounded ridiculous to me. Yeah, one day it sounded ridiculous to everybody, I'm afraid, okay? It's chronic. It's nonsense. It's worthy of, the earth sitting on the back of a giant turtle floating in an endless sea. It's of Prometheus and the myths of the Greeks. It's silly. I'm sorry, it's silly. The teachings that if your parents don't accept the truth, that they and their offspring, because they have family responsibility, will be killed at Armageddon. That's true. I remember being told that. That's so true. Okay? Dear me. Okay. Oh yeah, then somebody said, remember the talks they used to say that if you find a rat in your house with babies, you kill the babies too? Because the babies are going to be rats. You know who else said that? Joe Pesci. Joe Pesci said that when he murdered the kid in Goodfellas. That little kid who was serving drinks in Goodfellas. And said, he's a rat. His whole family are rats. I don't care that I killed him. Yeah, that's Jehovah's Witnesses have the morals of Joe Pesci in Goodfellas. There you go. And how about if you do make it through Armageddon and you get another 1,000 years of testing and then you might not make it. I mean, that's brilliant, isn't it? Jehovah is a generous God indeed. Perfect. I don't think that word means what they think it means. Being perfect is almost portrayed as infallible, unbreakable, inhuman. Adam and Eve were perfect, still sinned. Okay. Oy. I remember asking this question once, and if someone came up with the idea that we would just live on different planets when this happened, that all things were possible with Jehovah, not to worry because it would be a paradise and all would be happy and fulfilled. The other planets thing, I was told God would magic us there because we would be banned. My wings are getting tired. We'd be banned from using rocket fuel because it would be too polluting and stuff. God wouldn't allow that kind of thing. Okay. I always doubted whether Adam and Eve were ever created perfect. Hell, they didn't even know they were naked until they ate of the tree of forbidden knowledge. That is true, actually. That is true. They were certainly innocent a lot, weren't they? And then someone says, I've doubted the doctrine of creation for a very long time. That's true. And interestingly enough, by the way, there have been atheists. Atheism is not a new thing, people. Atheism has been going around for, well, certainly as long as the Bible, because the Bible there's a verse in the Bible where it says, the fool has said in his heart that there is no God. Well, that does not prove that there is a God, but it does prove that there were atheists. So there you go. There were atheists at the time of the Bible. Okay, I'm not sure if that's Old Testament or New Testament, but either way, it's a long time ago. Okay, so the light getting brighter doctrine. Oh, I loved that one, didn't you? Light brighter still, a light bright. This doctrine was just made to get out of jail free card. That is so true. To cover up their mistakes, that their God of truth was a liar. They were the liars, obviously. I mean, if God's real, then that's fine. But they are certainly genuinely the liar. Okay? As doctrine has changed over the years, are people who died under the old understanding considered sinners? Blood transfusions, for example. If you received one yet died before the change in policy, were you retroactively disfellowshipped? Franz was retroactively disfellowshipped for something that happened prior to the policy change. Actually, I don't think that's true. Although Franz was disfellowshipped, I agree with that. I think your other points are very good. Franz was disfellowshipped because he then went on to admit that he had also seen them afterwards. I think. Right? I think so. That could be the case. The part where God creates 7 billion humans, although we had quite a say in creating them too, I helped create 2 of them, proclaims he loves them and then brutally slaughters them. Only 99.99998 of them. It's actually the same reason I don't much talk to my family despite not being shunned. You're shunning them. I'm tired of people's mouths saying they love me while their hands punish and their eyes do nothing but judge. That's a very good point. That's a very good point. Yes, I would not destroy kids, and supposedly my love was much less than God. That's true. I would never harm anyone else's children, and God is just waiting to kill mine, apparently. So that's a fair point. Almost everything in the Red Revelation book. Thinking that John, seeing in vision 2 witnesses lying dead on the road for 1,260 days, pointed to the Watchtower leaders being thrown in prison, sounded far-fetched. What a bunch of fucking hypocrites. What arrogance that you would read the Bible and believe, oh, that must mean when I went to jail. Notice that they never find anything in the Bible that says, oh, that scripture must relate to when all those elders touched those kids. Dear me, I give up. The Watchtower always portrays a vengeful and maniac God ready to kill and punish people. They're out of touch with reality. Unless God is a maniac who wants to kill and punish people, I suppose. No wonder those morons in New York are the epitome of psychopathy. Psychopathy doesn't sound right. I can't pronounce it. From a young age, I had a problem with God supposedly confusing the languages because of Nimrod and saying that there is nothing they can't do. To me, he was admitting humans didn't need him and that they could figure it out on their own. And his so-called test to show they needed him was bullshit, and he knew it. This smart sir is also a point that I raised many times in my life, and from a young age, I realized that, hey, hang on a second, if we're capable of doing everything, then why do we need God in the first place? And God was clearly trying to slow us down. So that was always very interesting to me. Now, I got into an argument with this over an elder who was, so angry. No, Jehovah's people, witnesses, we don't believe this. Mankind can't do everything. We can't be like God. And I said, listen, you're not arguing with me. You're arguing with the Bible. The Bible says that. Very grumpy indeed. Dear me. Okay. Anything relating to torturing innocent children? I agree. How about those poor kids who said, go on up, you bald head, at that prophet? I wanted to kill plenty of children who said that. No, I haven't. That's the point, right? And he cursed them and God killed them all. Okay, I think we all know that God didn't kill them all. Okay, what happened was a bunch of kids got killed. A story was created around it. They were killed by a bear in the area. A story was created around it, and over 100 years later, it got written down, and this was the myth. That's the reality. Children tragically died once in the past at the hands of a bear. End of story. Okay. The rest of the story is bullshit piled on bullshit piled on bullshit, okay? But the point is, the Jehovah's Witnesses don't believe what I've just told you. They believe that there is actually a God in heaven who would kill children for saying, "Go on up, you bald head." There is not. And if there were, I wouldn't worship him. And nor should you, okay? I struggled with the idea that Adam and Eve were modified after being kicked out of the garden. Eve would supposedly crave her husband, which was explained to me as sexual lust, which would cease to exist in the new system. Quite like that. What this boils down to is Jehovah made Eve crave the dick. But then made it sinful to get it. I call that stacking the deck. And another woman has written, "Here it is, but don't touch it." Oh man, oh man, oh man. Exactly. That is so clever. The faithful slave teaching, yeah, that's just manufactured to give them an authority. The adolescent Jehovah, jealous, angry, narcissistic, throwing lethal tantrums. But he loves you. He sounds like a bad boyfriend, doesn't he? How about after 1,000 years of peace, Satan would be released again? I know, because Satan didn't do it. Satan needs another go round too, doesn't he? Oh my goodness, that broke my heart, thinking of loved ones welcoming back their dead husbands and wives. Oh yeah, sorry, start again. Also, there'd be no marriage in the resurrection. That broke my heart, thinking of loved ones welcoming back their dead husbands and wives, but there'd be no feelings of their previous married love. That is so horrible, right? Somebody's written, "I never believed any of it." Well, why were you there? You should have left quicker. I'm glad you did, though. There was something in the Bible that talked about a man killing his wife and cutting her up and placing pieces of her in different areas. It may have been symbolic, but either way, it was horrible. Pretty bad. How about that? Was it Jephthah? Killed his daughter? Sacrificed his daughter after winning a battle? Yeah, you don't talk much about that human sacrifice, do you? No, exactly. Oh, we don't believe in things like that. Those Baal worshippers were terrible. Okay. Here's another thing, by the way. While we're at it, I think Jezebel got a bad rep. Okay, hear me out, right? Jezebel got a terrible rep for being such a bad woman, right? But Jezebel teaches you something in the name. Jezebel is a theophoric name. Okay, ooh, I know a big word. Jezebel means that she was her follower. Her family were followers of Baal. Theophoric means that your name has the name of a god in it. So, for instance, Mary would kind of be it, although she's not really considered a god by Catholics. But obviously, if anyone had Muhammad, no, that wouldn't count either. Let me think. What would be a good one? If you were called Zeus or Thor or some nonsense like that, that'd be a theophoric name. But Jezebel was a follower of Baal, right? And I think she got a hard deal because I think they didn't like her because of it. There you go. I think Jezebel's story might just be she was picked on because she was a Baal worshipper. The tribulation and the waiting period of 1,000 years to see if we made it to the next chapter of the system. I agree. A lot of people are mentioning this, and it's absolutely nonsense. Okay. No one can ever answer my questions about couples who lost a spouse and remarried. If the dead couple were resurrected, would they still be in love with their spouse that didn't die but got remarried after Armageddon? Exactly. You could have two wives, maybe like a Mormon. Would that be good? Ooh. I couldn't accept it was a loving thing to do when usually it was when they needed support more than any other time. Also, they could not accept our amazing family would die at Armageddon when they were such great people. Absolutely. I mean, lots of people, so many nice people in the world, far nicer than Jehovah's Witnesses, but no, they're the bad ones, okay? Oh, yes, and why did he make all those vicious animals, those blood-sucking bugs, being in the snake's flesh, writhing bacteria and viruses? What the fuck? And they don't even give credit to God for that. Only the good shit Satan must have did that. Or Adam taking a bite of the apple and made the fucking tigers get stripes and claws. That is so true. You know, even in dusty Northern Ireland, right? I took my kids just over that way to where we have a beautiful reservoir behind our home. And I took the kids for a walk along this little tiny stream and like a man-made viaduct for the water to run off, and it's completely nearly dry. And as the kids were looking in this pond, we found leeches. Gross. I didn't even know leeches were here, right? But there's leeches, right? And Jehovah didn't make them suck blood? Are you telling me that? Jehovah did not make leeches suck blood. What did they do beforehand? Did they suck juicy leaves? Thank you very much. In the Bible, Jehovah blessed armies and helped them kill their enemies, but we're not allowed to serve in the military. That's a good point. the Bible seemed to be a book of fairy tales to me. Evil versus good, riches and immorality. I wrote immortality in exchange for following stern rules of a self-aggrandized deity. This is so true. How about Jehovah loves us and is a loving God as long as we obey all his rules and don't sin? That's true. Oh dear me. Oh, I'm going to do my last one because I think these are good. Okay. I can't really remember the stories, but I have two that just don't sit right with me. God stopped the sun for setting so that his army could finish killing. Don't know if the stories are related. The army that went to the river to drink, the one that drunk with his eyes down in the water, were all killed, and the ones with their eyes up, keeping watch, weren't killed. They weren't killed, they were sent home. It wasn't that bad, okay? They were sent home. They weren't allowed to fight in the battle because God wanted to prove that it was just him fighting the war for them. But the other one, stopping the sun, is interesting, right? And stopping the sun for, I forget who it was, Joshua's army, so they could fight on, is actually, supposedly, correlates with another time when one of the king was told he'd live longer, and then God made the sun go back to make up for it, to prove to him that he was going to live longer. So I just still don't believe it though, but it is interesting. Anyway, guys, I hope you've enjoyed that. There is more I could read here. I could never understand why there were privileges that men got that women didn't. I would ask my parents and several different Jehovah's Witnesses I'd meet about it, and nobody ever gave me an answer that satisfied me, so I just kept asking. They must have loved you. I didn't understand how stupid answers could even sound good enough to them. Guys, there's tons more. You could add to it. I'm not going to give you a 30-minute video though. It's just too cruel to you on a nice day. So I hope you enjoyed this video. There's more to come, and I'm just doing stuff that I think is fun on the Jehovah's Witnesses. And I want you all to have a lovely day. And if you did like this, if you got this far, please subscribe. Thank you very much. And like it too.